Welcome back to day 20 out of 50 good questions to ask the tarot deck. Today is a serious one. I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's a question about the future. And today's question is, what is one emotional pattern that you're ready to break? I'm going to try to keep it to one, but whatever comes up is what comes up. What one emotional pattern are you ready to break? 2 of Wands, procrastination. Focusing on perfection rather than action. It is better to do something even if it's only 50% perfect, even if it's only 10% perfect, than it is to wait around for something to be perfect before finally committing to it. Because one, if you don't commit to anything, what are you living for? And yes, there doesn't need to be a purpose to life, but at the end of the day, we are goal-oriented creatures and we need something to strive for. And number 2, if you are not doing anything, then you are just sitting around waiting for something amazing to come your way, but it's not going to be here unless you are actively looking for it, unless you are actively working towards it. Why? Because it's psychological. If all your brain knows is waiting around, being negative, overthinking, then your brain wants to be right, and it will go out of its way to prove to you that you are safer being in the familiarity of procrastination, being in the familiarity of waiting instead of doing. If you want to change your life, if you want to genuinely break the emotional pattern of constantly waiting, constantly procrastinating, constantly seeking perfection, and therefore being insecure about every single little change that doesn't go your way, focus on the wabi-sabi. Focus on the fact that perfection is a fucking flaw. Perfection does not exist. Nothing in this world is perfect. Even the Fibonacci sequence is not a perfectly symmetrical creation. Every single petal you will ever see is going to be different. Every single snowflake does not fit the standard of the last snowflake that came before it, or the next snowflake that is going to come after it. You are just as unique as a snowflake, and nobody knows what is good or bad. Obviously with no harm to yourself or others, but the only way that you can live is based on what brings you joy. That is the purpose to life. And the more that you wait for perfection to come your way, the less you are living, and the less that you are living, the less joy you will be able to find. Procrastination. Stop procrastinating so much. The 6 of Pentacles is falling out. Also a sense of looking for help. Also a sense of needing to help other people. But the reason why I had that really stinky face just now is because you need to be needed. And that might be why you're also procrastinating. That you live for other people instead of living for yourself. Because if you help others, you have a sense of satisfaction that you can't give yourself because you don't know how to help yourself. For everybody else, you tell them to go live their lives, even if things aren't perfect. But for you, everything needs to be perfect in order to work out. So emotional pattern, perfectionism. Learning to let go of being perfect because it's a non-existent phenomenon. It is better to act than to wait, because the more that you wait, the less that you live now. As cliche as it is, tomorrow isn't promised. And what you need to do is to stop living for other people. Stop waiting for your knight in shining armor to come in, or your princess in shining armor to come in and save you, because you need to learn to save yourself. And what does that mean? It simply means letting go. It simply means moving forward and taking your plans and turning them into something magical in the present moment. Not waiting for, I'll do this when I have enough money, or I'll do this when I feel better. I'll do this when I'm healthier. I'll do this when I meet the love of my life. If you don't live now, then when are you going to start fucking living? So what is one emotional pattern that you're ready to break? Constantly seeking perfection. And therefore, through that perfection, constantly relying on procrastination for safety. Procrastinating is not helping you live your life fully. You need to accept change for what it is, and you need to accept that doing something is better than doing nothing. Regretting doing something that doesn't work out is better than regretting not doing it at all. Obviously, use common sense, obviously with no harm to yourself or others, but you need to start living now. It's time for you to break the habit of being perfect, because you can't be perfect. You're perfect in your own way for being unique, but every single snowflake is different. Every single template for life is going to differ from person to person. Stop living for other people and start living for yourself.